Hi guys, welcome back to Brixie Studios. This is not going to be the do-it-yourself series that we've had up. This is actually going to be part of our ceramic theory course. But before we get going, if you don't mind, check out the links below, hit subscribe, and of course the notification button. Every single one of them makes a difference for us, so we really appreciate it. Ceramic theory videos are going to be angled towards explaining a little bit more of how we do and why we do what we do when we do it. In other words, we're going to show you behind the scenes of what makes good pottery good pottery. Sometimes you might be in a store, pick up something that feels a little bit heavy, or your body just says it's not quite right. We're going to show you what makes it not quite right and how to fix it. This is a series that we're going to start out with by a basic cylinder, and we want to show you how those work. If you will check us out now, I will show you basically what we're trying to talk about. Here we go.
So diving right in, again, this is cylinder ceramic theory, and one of the first things that you need to note about cylinders is that there are, of course, many ways to interpret how we kind of, I guess you would say, grade a cylinder, how it feels. And specifically, when we begin in pottery, or when we're making a purchase for pottery, it's either beginning potters or purchasing potters, wares, that we will try to get a feel for the weight of whatever cylinder that we're interested in, or whatever cylinder that we're making. And in this particular case, we're talking about ceramic theory, so we're assuming it probably needs to be a finished product, or a product that's under a type of construction where you're either studying or practicing for that particular item. So when I'm talking right here, we actually put up this note, doesn't match the feel. When I'm talking about the feel for the weight, for an example, if you were to walk into your favorite pottery gallery, hopefully Brixie Studios, and come across the floor because you saw this perfect coffee mug from afar, and you grab it and suddenly it doesn't match your hands, just doesn't match what you saw. It doesn't seem to be as light as it needs to be, or it doesn't seem to be just fit with the hand motions that you need to make for drinking a cup of coffee. It just doesn't match the feel. It doesn't match what your eyes saw. So if we just were to draw out a simple cylinder form, this is basically what let's say that we're centering here. This is a small disc type formation. This is what I want to try to portray. And we're going to open just like in a regular opening here. I'm shooting though for a 90-degree angle on the inside. Okay, so that's great that we're shooting for it. Here's the thing. We are not machines. And it's important to remember that. Each piece of pottery is handmade, unique, and it's uniquely you, so don't worry about making it exactly 90 degrees. But you are going to try to get those inside corners much more like a corner than, for example, the inside of a curved piece, such as maybe a dinner bowl or a serving vessel that resembles a bowl interior. Doesn't have to be a bowl. We can make all kinds of different vessels. Something like even a chip and dip platter might have a little bit of a curvature to it. That curvature on the inside cylinder makes a huge difference. That's why it doesn't match the feel. You put in what should have been a bowl on the inside and a mug on the outside, and that just doesn't fit. Your inside doesn't match your outside. So let's give an example of what I just said. Your inside doesn't match your outside. Generally speaking, when we open our vessel, even if it's just a pound, we will have something like this right here. The inside cylinder has exactly what we've tried to set up for. These sharper edges, sharper corners, flatter bottom, and the outside has this outer mass that oftentimes will look like this weird donut looking shape, or this Smurf hut looking shape, this mushroom, or it'll do this right here, where the bottom right at the corner on the outside is really super thick and the top starts to thin out. That's just a natural progression of things, right? So here again, we're trying to, this is me trying to say, look, your 90-degree angle on the inside is important, but you don't have to have it exactly perfect. However, right now, what I want you to notice is that my inside vessel, my inside cylinder, number one, does not match my outside vessel. Number two is that outer wall. okay? And that outer wall looks more like a, let's just call it like the bell shape, okay? So here's me trying to draw it two separate ways. That's your inside shape. That's your inside cylinder, trying to depict exactly what we're shooting for. We're trying to shoot for a cylinder. It's very simple, right? You get your cylinder finished, and then you make the curvatures or the shapes, all that you need to make after you have finished balancing and thinning your walls. Okay, so this is the highlight right here with me trying to circle the side of the side of what constitutes the second cylinder. Okay, follow me. Second cylinder. You have two cylinders. Cylinder number one, cylinder number two. You have got to make them match. Number one has to match number two. That's what makes feel for weight so important. That's why it doesn't match the feel when you look at something and your eyes aren't saying, oh, my hands are reporting it's too heavy. My eyes say it's the most beautiful mug I have ever seen in my entire life. I don't know why this isn't working. It's not working because we couldn't make number one look like number two. In the first example, just what I was repeating, the 90-degree angle is what makes the inside so important. On the outside, we just need to make sure that we're using enough pressure from our dominant hand, or it doesn't always have to be dominant, I'm so sorry. It has to be your outside hand, trying to give enough pressure to move those walls to make them match our inside cylinder. And again, that little drawing at the bottom there, number one matching number two is what we're shooting for. And as soon as you've got that completed, you can go back in and make the shapes that you're shooting for. Make that vase look like a vase. Make that mug look like a mug. Whatever it is that you're shooting for, again, has to be matched before you can make the vessel truly appropriate. And by appropriate, I mean, does it feel like it looks? Does number one match number two? And if that's the case, then we're on the right path. As far as cylinders, don't forget, there's always two. There's always enough work to be done on both the inside and the outside. They're both equally important. Make sure your inside is nice and clean and that you're shooting for that 90-degree angle, okay? Again, you're not a robot, so don't let yourself be disappointed, okay? Inside versus outside, make a match. Inside must equal your outside. Guys, I can't stress that enough. That's part of cylinder ceramic theory. I hope this helps you a little bit. Try hard to make inside match the outside and see if your vessels don't start turning around. See if you don't see some dramatic differences in your weight and your qualities, as everything matters when you're talking about practicing with stoneware. Keep practicing. Keep those little bits of weight down. Even a quarter ounce is a really big deal when you're drinking a cup of coffee. Guys and gals, we appreciate you watching Brixie Studios Ceramic Theory videos. I hope it helped you out. And if you have any questions, feel free to private message us, send us an email. Click on the links for us. Don't forget, subscribe and hit that notification button. Thank you so much for watching.